We now come to the mental stain of envy, which is issa in Pali. And this is very similar to jealousy. And it's a form of resentment or deep unhappiness towards another person's gain or success. And it flows on from derogation, where we belittle other people, and what happens is we end up with envy. So someone has something that we don't, or they did something that we weren't able to do, and instead of being happy for them, we're jealous. We're unhappy about it. We're close-minded around it. So what it can sound like is, he or she has, I don't. He or she can, I can't. So a good way to understand this is through examples. So an example might be one of your friends, and you think to yourself, oh, he or she got to go to Disneyland or some wonderful holiday place, and I didn't get to go. My family didn't have a holiday. And wrapped inside that is you want that to be something for you. Or over Christmas or for their birthday, one of your friends or your siblings got the latest iPhone or video game. And so in your mind you think, he or she got the latest iPhone or video game, and I didn't get such a great present. And inside you really want that. You wish you had that. And so if you're honest, sometimes you wish that they didn't get that and it came to you instead. That's where envy comes from. Or in relation to social media, it might be one of your friends is really popular on Instagram, and so you're jealous of that, oh, they've got so many followers and viewers and you don't. Or someone can speak lots of languages and you can't. Or it may be during a time of, like this time during COVID, this coronavirus thing that's spreading around the world, and different countries have different restrictions and different rules for restrictions. And so you're sitting in a country that is restricted, and you see another country where you have friends and family and they're not restricted, and you think, they have no restrictions. Why am I sitting here with restrictions? It's not fair. And subtly, even though you don't wish harm on your relatives or friends, subtly you wish that they might also have restrictions given that you're restricted. It's a very subtle thing. But ultimately, you don't want to be restricted. They have freedom and you don't. And ultimately, you want freedom, not to be restricted. So think about some of your own examples in relation to envy or jealousy. They might be something that has happened in the past, or maybe you feel that you are currently maybe having some envy in your mind towards someone. So think about your own examples, or if one of the examples I've given resonates, use that. Think about the quality of the mind that you're holding and what you're not seeing when you have this kind of envy. We'll take a few moments. When it comes to envy or jealousy, what we don't recognize when we make these statements or have these thoughts in our mind is we don't recognize or acknowledge the suffering, the pain, the dukkha that is associated with blessings in people's lives, in gains, in successes, in freedom. We don't recognize how much work and effort goes into certain things, how much studying someone has to do in order to be successful, get good results. We don't understand the amount of energy or recognize and admit to the amount of energy that someone needs to input into having these things happen. We don't even recognize maybe the wholesome karma that ripens for people when good things happen to them that we're envious about, that they did something in a previous lifetime or in this lifetime that meant that they got the good results. And we don't see that maybe we haven't had that good action in previous lifetimes or this lifetime to also get the good result. We're missing that truth. And a lot of the time we're misapprehending sukha, this happy feeling or this good result that people have. We misapprehend that it takes a lot of things that go into it. And so we don't see the downside. So when someone gets to go somewhere, something that we would like to go on, like Disneyland or another country or some experience that is very happy and enjoyable and fun, we don't realize that that also comes to an end for someone, that it is finite, it's not infinite. And there's dukkha that they experience when it ends. Or when you get a promotion at work, or you get appointed to a position at school, that there are responsibilities and hard work that goes into that. And that even once you're appointed, at some point it comes to an end. Like you might only be a prefect for a certain amount of time or on a team for a certain amount of time until you get injured or until it simply comes to an end. Or at work, you might get a promotion at one point, but at another point, you might get fired from your job or get demoted or have to take a pay cut. These are the things we don't see when we envy or when we're jealous. And that's the truth behind what's really happening in life. And envy forgets that, or it doesn't recognize it, or it can't see it. And so what Buddha says about envy is that if we keep perpetuating thoughts of envy, it becomes a block towards compassion, towards karuna, that we don't see the first noble truth of suffering, this dukkha, this real truth about dukkha, not the obvious dukkha that we all recognize, the pain, when something is disagreeable and then you get a disagreeable result. But it's all the other scenarios where maybe even you have an agreeable situation or an agreeable person, and we get to experience some delight, some happiness, but then it either comes to an end or it changes. We don't see that. And so when we envy and we keep perpetuating envy, it's very difficult to have compassion for other people, to be able to cultivate this larger, more suffusive quality of compassion. And in the same way, when we are around people that are envious or jealous, it's not a very nice feeling to be around. When someone's always jealous of other people or jealous of you, it's not agreeable. It's difficult to be around people like that, and eventually you don't want to be around people like that. And the same goes for if you are like that, people won't want to be around you. And so it's a very good idea to abandon, for all these reasons, envy. If we're carrying 200 suitcases of envy, then let's take each suitcase off. What is it like when the mind is not carrying all these unwholesome thoughts towards people and situations? When we can be happy for people, for what they have gained, the freedom they have, the success they've had, for whatever limited time they have it, because it's all subject to change. mind gets more gentle. It gets kinder. It becomes happier for others. It realizes the truth of the predicament we're in. And it gets more peaceful. When you experience this peace, this spaciousness in the mind, this happiness in the mind, when it's not carrying envy or jealousy, from this place you make a strong intention not to cultivate envy or jealousy in the future. People that practice the Buddha's path, the Buddha himself, doesn't cultivate this kind of quality, and neither should we.